Hello, my name is Jessica and you're watching a series of practice along videos, and those videos are about flexibility and flexibility techniques. We will work in those practice along videos in short sequences into our flexibility in an active and passive way. Flexibility is not only passive stretching, it's also working actively with our muscles. Why we want in general flexibility in our body is because the flexibility is crucial for our natural range of motion. So our natural range of motion in our joints. To keep our joints in a healthy state of manner and to keep the connective tissue around those joints, which is also muscles. Muscles are connective tissue. We need to elongate our muscles and keep our muscles flexible. Because when the muscles are tightening and the connective tissue is tightening, this also will decrease the ability to move our joints in a natural range, right? So for us humans, it is crucial to actually work into the flexibility on a constant level, I would say. And those videos help you to work into your flexibility, whether you are a yogi or not. For those videos, you don't need to be a yogi. But if you, for example, are working explicitly on splits and you really want to deepen your splits practice, you can, of course, use those videos to go further into your flexibility, into your stretching, or use those flexibility videos to warm up yourself and prepping yourself before going into any splits practice. You will need different props for the videos. 2 blocks I recommend. We use those blocks as resistant help and a strap. It could be also for a strap, it could be also a belt or bathrobe belt or something like this, but I highly recommend to invest in blocks if you are interested in working into your flexibility. Said this, let's get started. Meet you on the mat. You will need 1 block for today's practice as we work into pyramid pose and elongating and stretching our hamstrings. And we use the block for PNF technique for an active stretching and then releasing into a passive stretch. Before we start, we take a moment to wake up our legs, come into a lunge, and then just bounce gently for a few times. And with this, we will push back into pyramid. Bend your knee, push back. Bend your knee. We do this 2 times more. Straighten your front leg. Bend your knee, straighten and bend. And now straighten your front leg. And then shorten your stance a bit. Bring your block underneath your toe mounts. And with this, we will press our toe mounts into the block. And we'll hold this for a count of 8. So fire up your hamstrings. Press your toe mounts firmly into the block and hold this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then release over your straight leg. Try to pull your right hip backward. You can use your thumb into your right hip crease. We do this 2 times more. Come into a half lift. Push your toe mounts into the block and hold this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release over your right leg. We take 1 breath here. And on your inhale, come into a half lift. flex your front foot, push the toe mount into your block and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then release over your front leg. We take a moment here, fully release all the contraction of your muscles. Next inhale, come into a half lift, set your block aside, and then we just switch sides. Your right foot steps backwards, your left foot is in front, frame your front foot, and we take a few bounces, gentle bounces to wake up our left leg, and then we push back into pyramid for once. Bend your knee, 2, knee is bent, 3, inhale, bend your front knee, and then on an exhale, straighten your left leg. Take a moment, release your foot, your front foot, shorten your stance, your hips or feet are hips distance wide rather. Pull your left hip backward. Take your block, bring your flexed front foot onto the block. The toe mounts are on the block and we push the toe mounts for a count of 8 into the block for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release. Release into the passive stretch. Release all the contraction of the muscles. We do this once more, or rather 2 times more. Push the toe mounts into the block for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release the active stretching. Fold over your front leg. Take 1 breath here. And last round. Flex your front foot, push your foot into the block and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release. Release over your front leg. We're using PNF technique to efficiently warm up our muscles, our targeted area, the muscles we want to stretch, elongate, to work into the flexibility. And PNF is an efficient way to warm up the muscles and then eventually go easier into any flexibility postures when we talk yoga. But as I said, it's not only for yogis crucial to work into flexibility. You can release now and come onto your shins for a moment. We want to work into the flexibility to keep our natural range of motion of our joints, as the muscles are connective tissue. And the connective tissue is surrounding the joints. And when the connective tissue is getting tight through our daily lifestyle, for example, our natural range of motion of our joints is decreasing. And to keep our natural range of motion, or to keep our joints and the mobility in a healthy manner, we want to stretch our muscles on a regular basis. Thank you for joining in and see you next time.